I'm excited to meet a lot of new youth that are coming to RIC this year for the first time, and I'm excited to eat soul food. If we eat soul food. Social justice means to me the power of the people, changing things in power that we find to be unjust.
I like to dedicate this to all of the Creator's righteous children. I have some food in my bag for you. Not that edible food, that food you eat? No. I have some food for thought. Since knowledge is infinite, it has infinitely fell on me.
What's good, Rooted in Community 2017? We're out here in Greensboro, North Carolina at Bennett College waiting your arrival. So excited to see you later today and have an amazing weekend with everybody. See you when you get here.
There were a serious lack of educational opportunities for previously enslaved people. And so this college was opened up. Originally it was co-ed for free people, and then in 1926, it became a African Americans. And he petitioned every college in Greensboro. And I think at that time there was either 4 or 5, and every college declined except for Bennett College. And so in 1958, Martin Luther King Jr. delivered a speech in that chapel, advancing the cause for civil rights. So that's just a little bit about Bennett College, and just be mindful of that as y'all are walking around and just taking in, you know, the scenery. The Bennett College is beautiful, right? You like it? All right. Cool.
From North Carolina, and the majority of us are the Lumbee tribe of the southeastern North Carolina, and we are glad we can be here and take part in everything y'all are doing here, like we are doing. And we appreciate everything y'all have done for us. And hopefully, we all celebrate and become close friends and family.
Okay.
I come from Watsonville, California, and I would like to invoke the spirit of the new generation, the ones that will stay here to keep making the changes that our community desperately needs in order to form a more perfect future for further generations. I would like to encourage all of you to keep on inspiring the youth, because it makes a difference. And the impact that you leave today, it seriously affects the youth, because they are there's so much energy in the youth, and we can all make a lot of changes happen if we all collaborate, put our energies together, and strive for a common goal, which I think we all can do.
Boo, what?
I would just like to offer a little bit of a blessing. I'm so honored to be here among so many beautiful faces, so many powerful souls, and people who are ready to do the work that's needed to heal each other and heal our communities, heal our families, heal our lineages. So I just want to invoke the ancestors of each and every single person in this room right now. May their wisdom guide us as we do this work to build with one another, to heal one another, to do the work that is so important for our communities and for our planet. So we could all just take a big breath right now and just envision that we have a whole big community of ancestors and all those who came before us and done the work before us behind us, lifting us up, lifting our spirits. And we can also imagine those who are going to come after us who will benefit from the fruits that we've been sowing, from the seeds that we're sowing. So if we can all just take a big breath. And I'm excited to welcome us all into community together. Thank you.
I'm a word artist, so I do spoken word, I do rap, and I do spoken word here. Alright, so I know this is two big things that it hits on is resilience and community, and I feel like those are two things that are important for joint society kind of going. You know, I feel like it's the latter, and those things are really important to me. So much so that me and a couple brothers we decided to do a project together, do some music, and to address those issues. In fact, we named it defense. It's an acronym for Brothers from Another Mother, because that's literally what we are. We're brothers from another mother, and it's also a call to action to be family, to be family, to be like family, and that can resolve a lot of issues. Also, like I said, I'm a word artist, so I'm a big music head. Music is my movement, and when it comes to rap, I'm big about dope beats and real bars, okay? Real bars.
Facts.
So, I'm not a little piece. There's going to be no piece. It's going to be straight bars. And so, so yeah, hope y'all enjoy it. Refuge is something that everybody is seeking. Forbidden fruit ain't something that only grows and eaten. Two and two are prevalent, please allow me to share. Apparently it's imperative to wherever it's paired. So arrogant is the arrogance, so careless is the arrogance to ignore what is clear. We celebrate terrorism each and every year. We celebrate terrorism each and every year. We celebrate terrorism each and every year. Can't walk with not hard enough to explain what we marching for. Hurry up, we got 100 more hurdles to jump. Debbie Donald won't part of blowing the victory trump. On my heart, I wasn't bothered defending this trump for being honest. He is honest and freedom in us to acknowledge the vision and benefit votes and flaws. Sitting in tokens all stereotypes to the party involved in murder and bondage that will never resolve. And you murder and past, we see it too often. We kind of didn't last until the joke was caught. This side is age. First, age is a book of stages. There's a pattern part more so than age is doing business. Like, division and conflict. Division and conflict. We hold the blood, but when the privilege is constant, there is no insignificant. Whatever's constant. Hate is so toxic. Love builds progress. Hope that God can lie, it don't add up to doctrine. Probably honor the God that but we so woke, different hope, and we don't know how dope it is to be a doctor. Stop. Allow that guess. EFHM. Change the nation. Yo, I know we ain't family. I know we ain't relatives. That ain't really relatives. Can we be family? Can we be family? I know we ain't relatives. That ain't really relatives. Can we be family? Can we be family?
And we came up with a bunch of like areas and ideas of like what we thought citizens meant to us. So when we were talking about it, we brought up like every type of system we were able to think of, so like the government, with that justice system, and we thought of infrastructure, schools, prisons, and how things work together to like invoke some type of order. And that's basically like what we felt was
primarily by African Americans and struggled early on with social and economic difficulties leading to racism. Over time, the citizens of Princeville have developed a strong sense of pride in their history and in their community, and the town stands a symbol of African American determination and endurance. The resilient, historic little town has survived, and the residents were given praise to their creator for guiding them for the last 115 years.
Julius Tillery saw this as a problem and hopes to bring more black farmers into the cotton club. I grew up farming and raising cotton as one of the primary crops on my family farm. Black Cotton is a business I created to bring value to people I care about in a vulnerable community. My home community has struggled for the last few economic downturns, and many people do not believe we can have nice things like other regions of our state. I do not believe this at all. I'm hoping some of the social justice warriors who want to bring change about can connect with me and my cause, because it will be the convergence of energy that our black business and black culture needs. We need to set a model that we can create and own more wealth.
So it's a type of business, but it uses collective principles and is a type of collective. So oftentimes, you hear like a band. A band is a collective, right? Or any group of artists is a type of collective, okay? But a cooperative is an enterprise, of course, for business. So you remember, that's the key difference between the two.
Great guy by the name of Julius Tillery decided, hey, I'm a farmer, I'm a young farmer, one of not many black young farmers, and I want to bring a hip way of talking about black cotton, well, it's not black, it's cotton, but by black farmers, and our kind of, how can I say, urban environment together, and the way that we connect with social media and the way that we do things. So Julius Tillery is actually here to my left. Give it up for Julius Tillery. Speak very briefly, and he can talk to you all later about black cotton, and we have some on display for you to look up later. He's probably going to tell you to follow the hashtag Black Cotton handle at blackcotton.us.
Definitely. All right, so we're going to turn up right now. How many of you all on social media?
Hey!
Woo, woo, woo! All right, that's good. Let me tell you something.
And they got a chance to read it, and everyone get a chance to read it. There, in 1968, there was an African American cooperative in Georgia, and it was the day that Martin Luther King was assassinated. The group came to their founder and asked, what do we do? Like, we're crying, we're mourning, and we cannot get any work done. And the founder said, well, I don't own it. Like, it's a cooperative, so every single one of you all are owners. You have decision-making powers, so how about we all meet and decide what to do? And so everyone decided to take the day off. And not only that, to take the next day off in order to heal. Okay? So that, to me, that's an amazing example of what community ownership can do.
Students from Bennett College, A&T, all over. It was really fueled by youth to not let this particular landfill open in a very poor community. Was it a community that was just poor and black? No, the two are not synonymous, but because of our history, they're closely connected sometimes. It was a community of all kinds of people who all were a part of the lower economic stratosphere. So the entire city, it was beautiful, the entire city really rallied to make sure that this landfill that was causing cancer, that was causing all kinds of health problems, did not open up in Greensboro.
Okay, now in the there's an article in your packet that's about the history of African American cooperatives, and there's a specific part of it where it speaks about all the barriers that the system of government had created to stop them from organizing their own cooperatives. So we can think about systems in any way. There's systems designed to create inequity, and there's systems that can be designed to create equity.
Speak, no one.
Free the land, the workers, and the consumers. That's an amazing framework for understanding food justice. So having workers, having owners.
This is promoting all of us right now, you know, so everybody wants to make a change. All you got to do is come together and make good things happen. So we're going to do that right now. All right, everybody stand up. Stand up. Everybody stand up. I want everybody to know that I call myself the Puff Daddy of cotton. Okay? Y'all see my cotton? It's the coolest cotton out here. I done multiple proms. Who going to prom next year? Who wants to be the coolest person at their prom? You need to have black cotton, not the regular boutonnieres. You need to have black cotton boutonnieres. But all right, we're going to do something real cool. I want to make a video. I want to post this on my website. So I want everybody to get together for my little choir right here. Come together as a square. Come here. Everybody come together. Everybody come together. Come on. Quick. I want when I say black, y'all say cotton. Black. Black. Cotton. Now y'all just say what I said. Black.
Organization. We run farmers markets, do curbside recycling, and the best part for all of us is that we have a youth program that teaches youth about environmental literacy, sustainable practices, and we're really trying to turn these things into something tangible that we can do hands-on. These guys are all alumni of our youth program. They are now interns and program associates that directly help the organization after they've gone through their 8-week intensive training course. We put this presentation together today as kind of a follow-up to the presentation we did last year. Last year we did a presentation in Olympia about a sugar sweetened beverage tax, the soda tax, which is the first in the nation to be passed in Berkeley. And today we're talking a little bit about where that money from the tax is going, talking about the dangers of sugar sweetened beverages, and talking about why you guys should drink more water. Can I get you guys to go up here and introduce yourselves and talk about what you do?
But since I'm already up here, so my name is Jacques or Jacques, either or, doesn't matter. I'm a youth program assistant at the Ecology Center. So what I do, I assist with the YA program that we have either in our spring cohort or our summer cohort, which is going on right now. I also work at one of our farmers markets on Thursdays. I'm in charge of providing EBT to our customers. We also have a program called Market Match, which I don't know if any or if you guys have heard of it, but it's basically a federal grant that allows us to essentially double your money. So for example, if you were to get 10 off your EBT card, we'll match you with another 10 for free, and then that 10 is good to buy extra fruits and vegetables. So it's basically a good way to support our farmers, our local farmers. It's a way for people to walk away with more fresh fruit and vegetables. What else? I work at our store at the Ecology Center, which basically has a lot of great products, a lot of eco alternative products. So instead of like buying, for example, a plastic food container, you can buy like an eco lunchbox, which is 100% stainless steel. We have a lot of great products in our store. Let's see what else. I also help in our development department, which basically regards to federal grant writing. So basically, like, you know, helping get that money to like fund our programs.
And Galen, I'm a youth program assistant. I work at the farmers market and in our communication department.
He also works at?
Oh, and at Farm Fresh Choice.
What's Farm Fresh Choice?
With Dante. It's a farm stand that we set up in a neighborhood that's a food desert, and what we do is each week we pick up produce from our farmers markets at a bulk price that's below market value, and then we resell it to the neighborhood.
And who works there?
Me and Dante.
And what's special about that?
We're youth.
Hey!
I'm Raquel, and I'm a youth intern, and I work at the Saturday's Farmers Market, and I do outreach tabling to scholars that are in our youth development program, and I also help with youth projects, and I also do development with a lady called Jacinda, who does event lighting and help her.
We give them the news to these guys. Sugar sweetened things next to a beverage. So go back real quick. So for example, that Pepsi has 69 grams of sugar in that bottle, which are 5 Little Debbies. Now I don't know if you guys really want to eat 5 Little Debbies back to back, but that's essentially what you're doing when you're drinking that much soda. We can just keep going through. This is a nice little visual aid to kind of get it rolling. Minute Maid, there's a juice, right? That's a lot of Oreos. Yeah, things that it has an orange on it, like Arizona, it's super tall, you know, the thing's $1, it's 25 fluid ounces. That's 51 grams of sugar. Yeah, Lipton, that's a tea, right? Red Bull, energy drink, dangerous. What are those, Frosted Flakes? Those are Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes are coated in sugar. Yep.
At the farmer's market, how to buy fresh fruit and vegetables, how to make a meal that will last. It also brought awareness to like type 2 diabetes. So like lower sugar consumption, drink more water, things of that nature. Next slide, please. Multicultural Institute. This basically helped
I'm 24 and I graduated from UNC last year. I'm a first-generation college student. I'm also a first-generation citizen. My parents fled El Salvador during a time of civil war, relocated in Los Angeles where I was born. We're again fleeing gang violence and race riots and moved our family to Durham, North Carolina where I grew up. I was very fortunate to graduate last year with no debt from college. I got a full scholarship. Thank you. I got a full scholarship to attend UNC, and I also got a scholarship to take a gap year. So if you have questions about gap years, please let me know. So I had full 5 years after graduation, fully funded. But I would not have been eligible for any of those scholarships had I been undocumented. And had my family been from Mexico or Guatemala. My name is Cecilia Polanco. I'm 24 and I graduated from UNC last year. I'm a first-generation college student. I'm also a first-generation citizen. My parents fled El Salvador during a time of civil war, relocated in Los Angeles where I was born. We're again fleeing gang violence and race riots and moved our family to Durham, North Carolina where I grew up. I was very fortunate to graduate last year with no debt from college. I got a full scholarship. Thank you. I got a full scholarship to attend UNC, and I also got a scholarship to take a gap year. So if you have questions about gap years, please let me know. So I had full 5 years after graduation, fully funded. But I would not have been eligible for any of those scholarships had I been undocumented. And had my family been from Mexico or Guatemala.
Right. That's a long time, and those same laws that they had
those 33 years were taken back, and now after that we had to refight again for those same laws to come back. And like, that's something my history teacher teach me, so I gotta tell my principal on him.
Yeah. All right, we'll do one more for that group. Young brother right there. Yeah.
Have a great day, experience a lot, make new friends, and finish your bingo. Thank you. Have an awesome day in North Carolina.
The descendants of those Africans went on during what's known in North Carolina. It had a very prosperous African American
So the majority of people in North Carolina were not slaveholders at all. And the vast majority of the slaveholders were slaveholders to one or two people. So this place is a total anomaly in many ways that we'll talk about. But anyway, so that building is the oldest building here. The Hortons move on. They sell their land to some brothers named Bogan, who are kind of like 18th century flippers. And so the Bogans eventually sell some of the land to a couple named Stagg, who built a tavern up on the main road. And that's why we think this area became known as Staggville, because it was the area around Stagg's Tavern. Now, believe it or not, that part of Old Oxford Highway where our gate is was part of the old Indian trading camp. So it was a well-used road, which doesn't seem possible unless you happen to be here when the ships are changing at either the Merck plant or the prison. But there was a lot of traffic on it, because this area of North Carolina in the 1700s is very, very sparsely settled. Hillsboro is the only big town around here. Durham doesn't exist yet, and Raleigh is tiny. So the Staggs do very well because they're in the right place, because the tavern's like a combination hotel, restaurant, bar. So unfortunately, Mr. Stagg dies, and then Mrs. Stagg in 1776 sells some of the land to Richard Benahan, who is the person who starts this plantation. And he wants the property because he's going to put a store there, and Mr. Benahan is always about business. Every decision here is based on the bottom line. And so he thought, that's where my store needs to be, because that's where all the customers are. And it turned out to be very profitable for him. These buildings here are built much later. The one way down on the end, it's like a log cabin, that is a quartering house, it's a storage building, and we think that dates from sharecropping. But these four were built, started in 1850, finished early in 1851. They were built by enslaved men from here, with materials from here, and they were housing for enslaved families. Now, these were the houses that Paul Cameron had built. He was in the 1850s. He was running the plantation. It was Mr. Benahan's grandson. Felt that because of the three rivers that run through here, the Little River, the Inner River, the Flat River, there are all these streams and marshes, which means there are incredible numbers of insects out here, which you will notice today, and all kinds, mosquitoes, ticks, and chiggers. So check yourself when you get back to someplace where you can take your shirt off and your pants. But at any rate, these houses were supposed to be healthier because the ground here is wet almost all the time. It's usually muddy. Today's pretty good. It's not bad at all. But so that's why the houses are up on the stacked stone foundation. That's supposed to keep them up off the wet ground. That stone came from the plantation's rock quarry. Enslaved men there are cutting those big pieces of rock out of the ground. Enslaved wagon drivers bring them here. The stonemasons who lay the foundation are enslaved here. Again, the site is called Board and Batten. Trees are cut down by enslaved men on the plantation. The enslaved wagon drivers take it to their lumber mill, where the enslaved men cut it into boards. And then the enslaved wagon drivers bring it back here, and enslaved carpenters build this building. And they are using metal hardware, nails, hinges, and things that were made in the blacksmith shop where the workers are enslaved men. So pretty much all the materials in this building, the original materials, came from the plantation. Now, these even though these were supposed to be the healthy housing that was going to make the difference for the life of the enslaved people on this plantation, there were only 8 of them built. Okay, about 28 people lived in each one of these houses. So that means there are these 4 and there are 8 more up the hill. Obviously, that's not enough for a plantation where there are over 900 people. But these were the ones you could see from the roads. And by the time these houses are built, large slaveholders are getting tremendous amounts of flack from abolitionists and other people who are morally opposed to slavery or opposed to slavery on different grounds. So sometimes houses like this are called show cabins. Most of the people here would have lived in one-room houses with one family, but these are quadruplex. Okay, this is going to be really tricky because there are so many of us. We are going to go around. Were made here by enslaved men as well. And they used a brick mold, which was like a big box with partitions in it. So you put the clay in it, the clay mixture, and let it sit. And in some places, they actually had a little kid who would come along after it sat for a day, come along, take the bricks out, squeeze them together, get the water out, and then put them in with a different side up. We can't document that that was done here, but we know that that was done in some places, particularly Charleston. So you end up with bricks that have thumbprints in it. That one, this one, and there's one over here that's fairly faint. And some of the descendants of people who were enslaved here say that those were done on purpose. I put my mark on it because I made it and it's good and I was here. Why not? On the other hand, then we have one like this. This was probably just a squishy brick because the corner's off and you can see the whole marks of the person's fingers on the bottom. And this room right here has a bit down plate. The other really interesting one is around the corner here. And there's a little tiny footprint in this one. Now, the kid was not walking up the chimney. This was done when the brick was in the brick mold. But some little tiny kid, it's right there by where my finger is. There's the heel, and then the toes are right there. So it's on the ground. The little kid comes toddling by and thinks, oh, I wonder what that feels like. I stepped on it. And because they probably had to make hundreds of bricks a day, the guy who was putting them in the kiln said, shh, no problem, put it in. It'll be fine. And over here, there's a place where the sidings were placed. It's called board and batten siding. So you've got wide boards with a narrower board over the crack where they touch each other. And the idea is to keep the critters out. Now, when you see those kind of octagonal dark nails, those are the original ones that were made in the blacksmith shop here. So there are places where there are other nails because this building's had to have a lot of replacement wood. And when we get inside, I'll show you how the building was made. This ramp, of course, is modern, and this building here is later. It actually does not have all the insulation that the one we're going into. Okay, the ramp is about 2 inches higher than the floor, so watch out when you come in. Okay, now there's a lot, so you have to kind of pile in. So it's actually different? Absolutely. Yes. One family lived in this room. When this house was brand new, 4 families who were Holmans moved in here. Now, on this plantation, because it was basically generated from many purchases of smaller parcels. So when land was bought, usually it was because somebody was in trouble financially. Also enslaved people were bought, and they kept whatever name they had. The people who lived in this house were Holmans. The owners of the plantation did not necessarily keep track of people by those last names, but the enslaved people always used those names. And they were kept for generation after generation after generation. When we get out, we'll talk about that lighthouse next door. The people who lived in that house were the Harts. The first Hart man was purchased in 1793. The last Hart died on plantation land in about 1980. So that family is on this plantation for almost 200 years, and we have records. This is not one of this is one of those places where Mr. Benningham, because he was a merchant and also he was fairly OCD about records. Yeah, that's an original beam. So when you're touching that, you're touching a piece of wood that was shaped by an enslaved man here with hand tools. Yeah. So, but at any rate, so the people are here for a long time. These people do not sell photos because it's a control thing. People know, do your job, don't make trouble, you will be here, your family will be intact, your kids will eat. And people had to be extremely pragmatic in those days. That were two things you could count on, so people didn't run away from here much. Aside from the fact this plantation is 30,000 acres, it's 47 square miles. It's gonna take you days to get off. And there's nothing around here but small farmers who are scared to death of the owners of this plantation. So, and probably are not slaveholders, which means nobody's gonna help you. So people did not run away in large numbers. But you can see this model over here shows what the building is like. So there are 2 rooms down, 2 rooms up, and there's a central stairway. Now, and a chimney at each end. Each room has a fireplace and a hearth in it. And what we know about these hearths, now this is a replacement chimney over here. The ground is so soggy that the one at this end started to sag and it was replaced. But it's called a Rumsford chimney, and you may, if you look at it, you see that the place where the wood goes is very shallow. And what we've learned about that is that it's very efficient. Now that one's a modern one and we use it. And within half an hour of a fire being started in here, this place is very comfortably warm. And if there weren't so many people in here, this room would be a little bit cooler because of all the insulation in this building. I'm going to talk about in a minute. But what, I know you all are really interested in food waste. People here cook in the house normally because remember, they're working from can-see to can't-see. So when it gets light outside, someone's blowing a horn, moms grab they eat their breakfast, moms grab their babies, and everybody goes off to work except the very little kids who are taken care of by older people who can't do their former jobs. Now, these people were rich enough that they just gave you something else to do when you got too old to do your prior job. And mostly it was taking child care. So they're like these little pods of daycare all over the plantation where there are a whole bunch of little kids and a couple of older people taking care of them during the day. Once you're 8 years old, you got a job. Now, it's not an adult job. You know, it might be feeding chickens or picking up stuff that people drop in the blacksmith shop or sweeping or, you know, gathering eggs, things like that that a little kid could do. And they actually, what we learned about the hearth is, you see how wide it is and that it's brick. They actually cooked on the hearth. So they would pull logs out and they'd have their logs there, and a lot of times the pots had those little legs on them. You know, we call them spiders now. And so they would cook on the hearth. Now, on Sundays, everybody except the people who worked in the house had the day off. So then people cooked communally outside, which was what they brought with them from West Africa. Now the deal here is because people came from all over the place, nobody on this plantation had come straight from Africa. All the enslaved people here's families had been in the United States for at least a generation, for some of them 3, 4, 5 or more generations. So, but they still maintain some of their African culture, and which shows in their cooking, like they were cooking their okra. And out front, another African survivalism is that they had a swept yard. So that would have been bare dirt there. And on Sundays, people cook communally. Our fire pit is a modern one, and it's totally above ground because everything around here is archaeologically significant, so you can't dig without a permit. And we have someone here who's got a permit now, but she's doing some very precise digs around here. So outside, on Sundays, they're cooking together, and they have more time to socialize. Speaking of food waste, behind these houses there were garden plots. So people are growing vegetables out there. They're growing okra, squash, peppers, peas and beans, and there was also in kind of back in what's now the woods between this house and the white one, there was actually an orchard, and there were fruit trees there. So people got fruit from those trees. They got rations of salt pork, molasses, and cornmeal based on the number of people in the family. And they also could hunt and fish. So people here are eating well. It's not that these people are nice. This is a business. The people who own this plantation do not look on the enslaved people as fellow human beings. They're more like livestock. On the other hand, because they know where their money is coming from, they want to make sure that people have an adequate diet. And that's because healthy people, people who are well fed.
Healthy livestock.
Yes, your healthy livestock. Okay. Yes. Okay. So if your livestock are fed well, they are healthier, which means they can do more work, and they have baby livestock that survive and grow up, adding to your wealth. So this is a business. And remember, one of the things that when we talk about plantations now, what a lot of scholars are saying is this is a forced labor camp. We are not talking about my old Kentucky home here. This is a business. People are being worked very hard because it's making a tremendous amount of money. Slavery is the basis of the American economy for a long, long time. Yankees are making money off of slavery as much as Southerners. In fact, more of them. Brown University, up north. You know how Mr. Brown made his money? Slave trade. He and the DeWolfs were the biggest slave traders in the country. Northerners were insurance companies, banks were making tons of money insuring enslaved people and loaning money to people. So basically the bulk of the money in the U.S. economy is coming in some indirectly or directly from slavery. And it is not just a Southern thing. There is slavery everywhere in the country at some point in the United States history. So, it is not a Southern thing, so you can't blame it on the South, because the North enabled it. As a matter of fact, there's a fantastic book called Complicity that talks about the role of the North in slavery. And another one that's even that you have to read in small doses because it makes you go and put the book down. But it's called, it's called The Half Has Never Been Told, Slavery and the Development of American Capitalism.
That's a good one.
It's phenomenal. It's written by a guy from Durham, as a matter of fact. He teaches at Cornell now, but he grew up in Durham. Okay, now we're going to go over there quick so you can see what a room looks like with furniture in it. Yeah, sometimes they call these buildings like this. Yes, that's the original. The rug is not. There were, So you can see in this room, we talked about the siding. That siding is attached to a really intricate framing. Then there's a space and there's broken bricks, and then there's this inside brick wall. That's why if there weren't so many people in here, this room would be cooler. But that is the only original fireplace there. Kids would have slept in a bed on the floor. There would have been more than one. That mattress has straw in it. The rag rugs would have been frequently seen around here. They grow a tremendous amount of cotton here, most of which is processed here on the plantation. These folks aren't growing their cotton and sending it off to the north and then buying the cloth back. No. They are too cheap for that. So they are ginning it here. There are enslaved women here who are just built in 1860, which makes you wonder what Paul Cameron was thinking at the time. And it was started in March and finished at harvest time. So they built this building in less than 6 months. It was done by enslaved men. What we have learned is that Paul Cameron, who was running the plantation at that point, well, actually, by 1860, he owned it all. His father had died and left him the land that he didn't own before. Had an estate in Hillsboro. He moved back to Hillsboro when his kids were little because they couldn't get a teacher they wanted to come and live on the plantation and teach in the plantation school. So, which was of course only
Another one is called the CSA program, which is Community Supporting Agriculture. And that's when it's like a monthly subscription or weekly subscription of magazines, but it's on produce. Every single week, Monday and Friday, CSA members get a box of vegetables that that we would prepare for them. And some of them, they will get a taste of the Asian vegetables, and there will be a recipe showing like how to make them. So that's one of the benefits for that. Another one is how many CSA customers? We have 150 CSA customers and 4 farmers. Last year they made about 50,000 in total for all of the 4 farmers that are doing CSA. So that is a huge income for us, and my mom happens to be one of the CSA.
social media again. It's Aisa. Welcome to the Day of Action. Today is Saturday, and we're doing our Day of Action, and there's going to be a puppet show, and there's going to be a little march that we're going to do around downtown Greensboro, and it's going to be an amazing day, so make sure that you're on social media, tagging us in all of your photos and videos and awesome things you're going to take today and all the awesome things you're going to see today while we're doing our Day of Action. So make sure to follow us on Snapchat, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and just have a good time and have a great day, and just post your videos and your photos on our social media. Bye!
Dynamic way that's accessible to many different communities that aren't necessarily academia or able to be a part of a nonprofit, etc. So we really commend you all for learning the puppet show so quickly, and I think we can go ahead and get started.
We said no, not on planet Earth. Look, as we all work to save our hometown. Listen, as industries fight and bear down. Decide from NIMBY to no, and fight for all we're worth. Not on planet Earth.
Not on planet Earth.
Build our ownership in coalition. Make a just transition.
Make a just transition.
Greensboro. What does Day of Action mean to me? Well, it means that it's an opportunity for youth and adults to come together to celebrate and commemorate amazing movement work that has been happening over the course of many, many years. And it's also an opportunity for us to take what we've learned and put it into action. I think it's really important. I don't think we should be meeting all the time. We should get out and share with our community. Role has been coordinating and managing the local RIC planning team. And so there's been a lot of learning lessons this year. One of the things that I've learned is that people have so much power to step into their roles and to be creative with them once they're given the chance. So I don't know, I just feel like our planning team has been really amazing, and RIC has really moved into its own organism. And it's not a matter of, RIC isn't a matter, the spirit of it isn't a matter of top-bottom leadership. Everyone has just been stepping up and doing what needs to be done, whether it's their role or not. And I think that's a really beautiful thing about people and like teamwork.
The land of the Cherokee, or the Sara, that is the tribe that was here first. And we just want to honor that and center that in our minds and in our hearts and in whatever we do, okay, moving forward. And we'd like to invite anyone who self-identifies as Indigenous or Native to come and to speak and to share.
North Carolina, and I'm a Southeastern Native American. I'm formerly part of the Lumbee tribe, and what it means for me to be a Lumbee, we are not fairly recognized as right now, but we are working on it. And being a Lumbee is amazing, man. You gotta understand that we have worked so hard throughout the years just to be recognized, and we're state recognized, but being a Lumbee, I take it to heart. I love being a Lumbee. I rep my pride every single day of my life.
Yeah.
I have created petitions. I have done posters. I have posted everything I can to support the Lumbees. And it ain't about being a Lumbee. Being a Native American or any race you are, you should take pride in that, no matter what race. You should rep yourself, rep your tribe, rep your race. I've always, now from when I was little, I was always taught to rep my Lumbee pride. And that's what I'm going to do to the day I die. And it was nice meeting all y'all today.
So Blackfoot and Cherokee, so
Yeah.
that's Georgia and Canada, and we're here, and we're doing amazing things.
Yeah.
And we're young people that are activated and creating change. We're supporting our brothers and sisters in North Dakota and all the other fights of protecting our water and our planet and our earth and our people, and yeah, and we're here.
Yeah.
Oh, my name is Mercy, like have mercy.
So I don't know if there are people on the perimeter of the park that can hear me, but you're welcome to join us. I'm really excited that we're finally here at Center City Park downtown. And one of the reasons why we came out here for the Day of Action is to honor our ancestors and honor our community leaders that have been doing social justice and action work for the past many years, locally and nationally and abroad. So I would love to honor all of those ancestors and all of those folks that have inspired us now. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you, that was really nice. So as you all know, we are rooted in community. We are so much more. Today, Rooted in Community has partnered with the NC Climate Justice Summit. So they have to honor two local exemplaries who have shown us what social justice work means to us and what we would like to aspire to and continue moving forward in our work. And we've been able to honor someone in this particular fashion. Y'all are VIP. Y'all inspired this award. And as you all know, we went to the Renaissance Community Co-op, and also in that same neighborhood there was a landfill that was closed down. And we would love for you two to share some of the work that you all have been doing. But first, we would love to give you a round of applause and an award.
Honored to be a part of celebrating these two amazing women and what I would love to call social justice warriors. Miss Goldie, Dr. Wells. I met her when I was a college student 10 years ago at Guilford College. She was a councilwoman then, and she started a program, more so an initiative, a movement called Collegiate Council. And she really wanted to bring together youth connected to college campuses as well as high schools to actually talk about and figure out ways that we can give back to the community. So Dr. Goldie Wells has always been a supporter of youth, and a big part of what we all have been talking about as far as talking about your narrative, bringing your story, bringing your experience into the space, Dr. Goldie Wells, I'm getting chills, has actually been one of the people to teach me how to do that. She's currently serving in District 2 now in Greensboro. Woo, 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 woo. And she's also from Guilford College to North Carolina A&T, Bennett College where we are now. And another thing about Miss Goldie is that she welcomes you with a smile. So there are lots of people who do community work, who are activists, but I always think it's important for people to simply be nice. And ever since I've met Dr. Goldie Wells, she's always welcomed me with a smile. And if you can see, she can't stop smiling now. She's always smiling. So give it up for Dr. Goldie Wells. And I'd like to talk a little bit about Professor Christina Young. She's currently serving as the director of the undergraduate program of public health and education at UNC Greensboro. And another thing about Christina, she's also one of those smilers. She connects you with her family, her two young core way. She makes sure that everyone that needs to be heard is heard. And once again, that's the basis of social justice. That's the basis of creating a movement, is making sure that everyone that's involved, their voices are being heard. So I just want to say thank you to the two of you for doing so much work in our community. You've inspired me from when I was a little kid in Greensboro, and so I appreciate you, and thank you so much for coming and being a part of this celebration.
Wonderful introduction. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to Greensboro. I want to welcome you as a councilwoman for District 2. I welcome you to Greensboro and all of the continue the work. There's so much to be done. Now in Greensboro, in the district where I serve, there is 1,000-acre landfill. And it had been closed, and in 2011, the council that was not really friendly to our community, it's a basically African-American community, wanted to reopen the landfill because they thought it would bring profit to them. So that's how the Citizens for Economic and Environmental Justice started. And it was a collaborative effort. The people who lived in West Greensboro joined with those in East Greensboro, and we fought the reopening of the landfill. So we are proud of what we've done. We've continued since then, and we realized that the only way that we will bring about the citizens in North Carolina, and they don't get fair treatment, but we will not give up. We will work together. And it takes all of us, not just one group, but all of us. And I am so proud to see you young people. You're future leaders. In fact, you're already leaders. But don't give up. Don't give up on the fight. When you have a goal in mind, go for it and stay together. I have an old preacher who said, if you catch on fire, someone will come to see you burn. So you got to get excited about what you're doing, and someone will join you in the effort. Thank you so much for this award, and let's all keep fighting for justice. Thank you all for this honor. I feel very privileged to have this from
life in the community in which I lived and that I have all my loved ones in. And so I got involved. And I was inspired by Citizens for Economic and Environmental Justice because I knew from studying in public health that it's unfair for a community that already was dealing with higher rates of disease and illness to also have a threat of a landfill being open. And so I had to get involved, and I wanted to share what I could bring to the movement. So I was glad to, at that time, speak at the city council to advocate for our African American community to say, don't open that landfill. That's not fair for these residents, and there's research to back it up. And I'm gonna tell you what it is. And so we did that, and I think it's important that we also bring all our strengths. And so as the introduction from Jada Monica Jew that I so much appreciate, she was mentioning that I was a part of the Greensboro Health Disparities Collaborative. And that's a group here in Greensboro that started with community residents being tired of ill effects here, because also part of this experience is that what's important is that it takes a village to raise a child. And so it's important to see this village of you all together. So stay in the village, stay in community, and keep working. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. And by the way, this gourd was painted, hand painted by Connie Leeper, who's here with the red shirt. Yes, it's for y'all.
Thank you. This is beautiful.
Yes, hand picked, dried out.
Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you. Do you want to?
Thank you, Connie.
I'll say a little bit about it. That is so nice.
So this calabash, this gourd is one of the oldest domesticated plants in the world. And I'm sure you all know what gourds are. It's called textures because of the textures and the culture.
So I don't know if there are people on the perimeter of the park that can hear me, but you're welcome to join us. I'm really, really excited that we're finally here at Center City Park downtown. And one of the reasons why we came out here for the Day of Action is to honor our ancestors and honor our community leaders that have been doing social justice and action work for the past many years, locally and nationally and abroad. So I would love to honor all of those ancestors and all of those folks that have inspired us now. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you, that was really nice. So, as you all know, we are rooted in community. We are so much more. Today, Rooted in Community has partnered with the NC Climate Justice Summit. So they have
ways in which we do our work. It's also
birthplace of the famous sit-ins. Can we give them a cheer for... North Carolina A&T students began this sit-in movement, and it spread throughout the South in the 60s. It is now the International Civil Rights Museum.
Yeah, we're coming back.
So, are we turning around?
Yeah, y'all together. You keep talking. Yeah.
Can I start a chant? The integration of lunch counters. Here, specifically in this place, high school students from Dudley, okay? 18 years old, 17 years old, 16 years old. So as youth, we have power, right? Yeah! We have power, right? Yeah! All right. Power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Say what? Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Ain't no power like the power of the people, because the power of the people don't stop. Anybody want to have a chant on deck? They want to start. All right, I'm going to just say it out once and then just follow me, okay? Yeah. This is what democracy looks like.
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 This is what democracy looks like. Yeah!
Yes, this is a good one right here.
You might be familiar with this chant.
Love it.
So I'm going to say one line, you say the next, and we'll go like that, all right? Yeah. Okay. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and respect each other.
We must love each other and respect each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains. Yeah.
As you go, you get more height, more height. I did say respect instead of support. So I'm starting off with respect and support each other. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support
We must love each other and support
each other.
each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
You spread water, spread it that way. Spread it this way.
Hey,
Anyone have one more chant?
Open it for me.
Anyone want to lead one?
We can't eat oil. Save our soil.
We can't eat oil. Save our soil. We can't eat oil. Save our soil. We can't eat oil. Save our soil. We can't eat oil. Save our soil. We can't eat oil. Save our soil.
We can walk with that one. Let's move.
All right, everybody turn around. Facing this way. Cackalack is in front.
To be with the band. Now I'm going to be in the
Can you say it again? El pueblo unido jamás será.
No, but you all have, oh, I know. I'm trying to get that poster behind you.
Is that youth have oftentimes been at the front lines of movement work. And so that's, I want to say from the beginning of time, because y'all ain't got no bills. I got bills to pay, so I'm a little bit vulnerable in terms of what I say sometimes or what I do sometimes. And then there's also so many other reasons why youth are just so powerful. So we want to say thank you all for doing this amazing work. And also, cultural work is at the center, oftentimes the center of movement work. And so that's one of the reasons why we strategically wanted to build programming around media, around storytelling, around music, around dance, etc. Because that is social action, that is social justice. And that's one of the reasons why we're coming together in the way that we are. So as you all, many of you probably already know, the puppet show that's about to be.
We are catching like thunder out there, and we are and we have job and hooray.
Hey, Robin, Jack's turn. Jack's turn. Very quick, Jack.
So.
Over there. They're all listening. Do you wanna talk to everybody? Oh, don't go too far. What do you want to say about that? Wait.
So, my name is Jack, and we live on Alphenton Avenue, and we just got me a new bunk bed.
All right! Yay!
I was very sweet. Wow! Yay!
Thank you, Jamie, Robin, and Jack. All right. So as Robin was saying, Cackalack Thunder is going to be leading us through the streets of Greensboro. Cackalack is a 15-ish or something years old street band. And so we are slow, it is hot, we're carrying drums. Don't go in front of us, please. We'll be left in the dust.
Person with the hand, please come more to the middle on the end.
Y'all ready? Yeah. All right, here we go. Oakland is Oakland. That's what they say. From 911 calls to TV coverage and news channels about horrific incidents that seem to wreck the Bay. Good acts and deeds don't sweeten the media palate. Yeah, the Warriors keep us happy by being good every year, but it doesn't ignore the bad habit. Oakland is Oakland. Maybe I should get out of Oakland, but she's boss. Nothing but a dying city bleeding from inside from murder, giving more blood than a Red Cross. But I can't, and I won't. I won't leave her even though there's a plague running in her body. From 1993 till I'm 6 feet deep, I will forever claim her because her plague is a part of me. Oakland is Oakland.
How can I? Without being judged or victimized, I'm only 17. Going to college and still not knowing of the incoming debt, still judged and again still victimized, suffering. Convicted by the oppression of the world, I'm really surprised that we haven't come up with anything more. A battery with amazing energy, but still being ignored. Like Kendrick Lamar said, ignorance is bliss. And I'm starting to believe that. But once again, I'm only 17 years old. Not knowing what the future holds, only to be considered the calm before the storm. But we'll finally see when we truly come to war. Already been said, life is a struggle that will never end. Love is a battle that can never truly be conquered. Food is a necessity that only few can find. The struggle is real, but no one cares to listen. The galaxy can try to rearrange, but never truly align. A father and mother who have beautiful kids, but always have to suffer to fend for their kin. The world is corrupt, silenced by the trumpets, screaming that the world is stable, but it's not. The clouds acting as fluffy white patches, and the blue skies watching us with craziness around. It's still a subject we are proud of. A toy soldier who will never see the crown. I'm a young African American. How can we be kings and queens of our generation? Just watch the TV, it might show you how. People killing people, can we just be equal? Evolve from apes. Are we supposed to be smarter? Then why do we have
Resilience in my blood. I'm destined for demonstration. When brown bodies at stake, we must escape the situation. The prison industrial complex is just slavery reinstated. Thirsty for more opportunities got me feeling dehydrated. That's why I'm drinking water often. Thank God I got that option. On my mama's mama, I'll be damned if diabetes try to stop me. On my business for that broccoli. Trying to cop my mom some property. Living in this monotone monopoly, trying to break out this monotony. Oh Oh, you got it. Also, I don't know what you guys says, but this is PG-13. Alright, check this out. Fuck being a statistic.
Like Dante and some of the others, I was in that poetry workshop, which really spoke to me. I felt like I just got my gun card because I was armed with my voice, which is awesome. So, I'm not much of a speaker, but here goes. Injustice, injustice, unjust ice. Like the cola you poison our youth with, diluting our culture so you can swallow it. Our struggle is bittersweet. You like to sugarcoat it and sell it back to the masses. Church, you took that too. Painted me a Mary to call my own. White Jesus influencing the decisions made in my home. We used to be gods. Now we can't even get off our phones. Disconnecting us from black, brown. You only see green. That's all I got.
Nourishment for new life. Leaders are like snakes, unafraid to shed skin when it no longer fits them, but holding fiercely to who they are. Teach us to learn. Leadership is guiding people in the right direction, like Martin Luther King did to end Black oppression. It's a lie that no one looks down on. Yes, we all make mistakes. Don't hate, wrong, race, or race. You never get to see. Express the greater than a symphony that's separate me. Leadership is being able to unify our brothers and sisters wherever they are. Yellow, black, white, or brown. Yeah.
Sexual harassment, street harassment, anyone who's ever felt their body was objectified. So this is for you all. Oh, and also PG-13, so.
Get it.
Let's count the seconds that you're looking at me, man. You got some big ideas, but you don't got a single plan. Like grains of sand, my life slips through the hourglass. Do what I can, but I can't, cause I'm late for class. Oh, that's right, this is right here where I learn. But I missed the lesson about how fire burns. It yearns, concerns itself with every little bit of fuel. It swerves, returns, and urges me to play the fool. But I gotta stay cool, keep my shit wound up tighter, let my body become lighter, find other ways to be inspired. My practice is peace, but I was trained to be a fighter/writer, and I'm past tired, and I wanna rise higher. This insanity is humanity trapped in the vanity, so anxiously searching for some kind of strategy out of apathy towards channeling back into ancestry, the answers in how we breathe. So when you look into my eyes and look into the stars, wondering if you realize what's mine is ours. My wounds are your scars, so don't come at me like you know any better, like you're the solar system center, like your temper is the weather. Who said that you could enter my ecosystem? I got that river flowing love, that deep root soil wisdom. You see a schism between me and capitalism, that patriarchal prison. I'd like to fix definitions, but why should I listen when I am a prism of light, not just a bite for you to gnaw and chew? I'm bulletproof like LaRue. Maybe it's your worldview that needs a fucking screw. That's just what I will do the next time I meet that next homie out on the street in this hood. Tears, my ears hear, but my lips remain silent. You're unaware of your blindness, cause you can't see the violence in words you pass off as kindness. It's like the blood on those diamonds. And let's be honest, I'm a goddess, so get your hands out. Hey. Mine ain't even my hardest, and that's a fucking promise. I'm done with being modest. So hey man, you come and you bow down with respect. You say the man is the head, but the woman is the neck. You can take that adrenaline honor, the sacred feminine. Don't pretend to be gentlemen, just transcend and be genuine. And when you feel like it's medicine, now I feel in my element. And with that fire comes smoke, so I try not to choke. So you hear what I spoke, it's in your ear, now let it soak.
pecans, climb up but too afraid to climb down oak trees, and bundles of sage buried under Bible scriptures. I am from the Pacific Ocean and the swamp dancing under the moonlight. I am from Vivian, Alma, Thomas, and the Witherspoons I'm still looking for. I'm from the storytelling settled on my tongue, walk in closets and wear it if you got it. Music that teaches me to die to live, rather than live to die. Curiosity that is only fed by experience from asking questions and having standards. I am from these moments. Still I rise, came.
Just like
He's like, I'm not getting it right.
Oh, you're actually pretty late.
Was it?
Everybody close their eyes real quick.
Did I mess it up?
No, you didn't. There, he's good. 1, 2, 3.
Relax.
That was mine. Hey, Dante.
Oh, weird.
We need one more person.
No.
No, you're next. Oh yeah, you're next.
Alright. Put your hands up a little so I can put him. Just go. 1, 2, 3.
Damn, y'all ain't gonna take him to no Y'all better not do that to me. No, it was him. He jolted. You want to do it?
Third person. Okay. I'm scared. 1. No, you guys need to be on your legs so you guys don't like pick up with your back.
Yeah, we are
on your legs though. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
What?
And then go the hand thing.
No, don't.
Yeah. What do I do?
Just chill.
Good.
No. Just top.
She's so light. Yeah, that's the whole point.
1.
She's gonna go through the roof.
2.
Don't hide again.
R-O-O-T-E-D, what? R-O-O-T-E-D, what? Rooted in community.